All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this module. Today we're going to focus on how meditation can actually help you in your trading journey and actually make you better and improve your performance. Okay, so here's the thing. Most people do not have any idea in what psychological state they're operating from. Okay, which is why they tend to stalk the charts, which is why they tend to overtrade and basically forget about the fact that they still have a life that they need to enjoy. Okay? The reason for that is they're in a mode where they operate from threats. Yeah, their nervous system is executing trades before conscious thought even arrives. So what the problem with trading is about money, and money from a physiological point of view equals survival. Okay? So because of our ancient survival instincts get triggered when we think about money and when we're confronted with a situation in which we could actually make money and we're just in front of a great opportunity to make more money, our ancient survival instincts are being triggered. Okay, the brain does not distinguish between financial uncertainty and physical danger. So we have basically two different elements. We have money, and then we have the uncertainty because we could potentially lose the money. And whenever we feel like we could lose something, we associate that with danger. We don't want to lose money, and we constantly want to make money when we're in front of the charts. And this puts us in a mode where our nervous system remains activated, and our nervous system basically scanning for the next signal, the next move, the next trade, and the next way to feel safe. And each trade opportunity, each trade idea gives us a dopamine hit because it provides momentary relief. Okay, then the cycle starts from zero. So if you are on flight and fight mode and you have physical tension in the neck and the shoulders and the jaw, you probably suffer from overtrading. Yeah. So if we have this tightness that is accumulated over the years and days and months and weeks, if we have tightness in the neck and the shoulders and in the jaw, that is going to lead to overtrading. That is going to lead to us not being able to control our emotions, our psychology, because our mode of being is just not ideal in order to perform in the markets. Okay. We want to get rid of that. We want to get in a position where we can actually execute. Okay. So when we're in this state, in this physical tension state, what's going to happen is we are going to have chart compulsion. Okay, so we're going to check the charts every single minute. Here's the thing. When you're on a date or when you're with family and friends and you need to stalk the charts every single minute, you're probably overtrading. You're probably not in an ideal psychological and physiological mode from which you can operate as a trader. Okay, so if you feel like you need to check and monitor and stalk the charts every single minute, that need overrides your rational assessment, your ability to actually make rational decisions in the markets. So this is called sympathetic mode, all right? Then there is this false urgency. Everything feels time sensitive. You don't have clarity, okay? Your action is reactive rather than responsive, and you're driven by the pressure to do something and anything now, okay? You don't have patience, you don't have stillness, you don't have clarity, you don't have calmness. And all of this is basically a bad place to be operating from. The reason why we cannot stop watching charts, we think that the more we stalk the charts, the more productive we are. It feels like we're controlling something. The nervous system interprets monitoring as a way to stay safe, to anticipate threats, and to prevent loss. Okay, so just imagine you're in a trade and then the trade is in drawdown. Our nervous system thinks that as long as we just watch the charts, as long as we just stalk it, we can prevent loss. We have everything in control, which is just not true. Okay. And all of this psychological activity, this mental activity, intensifies the mental arousal, the stimulation. Okay. We think we need to manage the trade. We think we need to stalk the charts. And the more you watch the chart, the more activated you become. And the cycle that we just talked about tightens. So you're going to have more pressure. You're going to have more muscle tension on your neck and shoulders, and that in turn is going to make you overtrade and is going to make you actually repeat the same mistakes over and over again. Okay, if you couple that with high caffeine consumption, then it's going to get even worse, because now if you activate your whole nervous system and you're panicking, you're basically operating from a state of flight and fight. You basically have to fight the universe, you have to fight the market to conquer it. And trading doesn't work like that. So we need to discharge our physicality. We need the physical, the psychological, and the mental discharge. Okay? Ancient survival responses evolved for short bursts. When we perceive threats, we act and we discharge energy. And then we return to baseline. Okay? Let's say you're in the rainforest. Okay? And then you get confronted by a lion. You need to do something in order to survive. You need to escape the lion, okay? Or you need to hide from the lion or whatever. Once you do that, you return back to baseline. But modern threats don't work that way. So the market and the stress that's associated with the market is chronic, it's ambiguous, and it's unresolvable through action. So that stress that we feel inside our body, we can't resolve that by acting. Okay, so when the nervous system stays activated for hours, days, and weeks, eventually that unreleased energy turns inward. So what will happen is our body is going to tighten, we're going to feel stressed, we're going to feel overstimulated. This could actually end up in a depression as well. So we need to be very careful. Okay, so we could have panic attacks, we could have anxieties, we could have a burnout and emotional volatility, and we don't want to end there. Yeah. So here is what meditation actually does and how it can help us in life in general, but then in trading as well. Meditation is not visualization or affirmation. It's not about thinking positively or suppressing emotion. It's an intervention, a biological and a psychological intervention that shifts the state of our nervous system. We don't want our nervous system to be in a state of fight and flight. We don't want to be constantly agitated. We don't want to be in constant anxiety and mental arousal. We want to be able to just calm down 10 minutes, 15 minutes in a day. How meditation helps here is basically it reduces our stress hormones. It lowers cortisol and adrenaline levels, and it allows the body to exit chronic activation. Okay, so we want to pacify our minds once in a while. And then our perception that there is a constant threat is being calmed by meditation. It retrains the amygdala to distinguish real danger from perceived uncertainty, and that reduces false alarms. And then also it lowers baseline vigilance. The resting state becomes genuinely restful. The nervous system no longer defaults to high alert. And then why does it actually reduce overtrading? So when the nervous system isn't perceiving constant danger, the compulsion to act, it just dissolves. So we don't feel forced and compelled to act anymore. We don't feel the need to stalk the chart. We just set the trades, we enter the position, and then we just let it run. Okay? And waiting now, just waiting and staying patient becomes tolerable. Yeah? And silence doesn't feel as threat anymore. You can sit with uncertainty without the need to resolve it through action, without the need to stalking the chart, without the need to manage your trade, without the need to wait for the trade to play out. Okay, you get my point. Here's the thing though, if you have been trading for a while and you don't have a practice of meditation every single day, if you go into deep meditation mode, what can happen is you might actually feel physical exhaustion for 1 or 2 days once you've done your first meditational session. Okay, so you can feel tired, you can feel exhausted, which is a normal reaction of your nervous system because the body is just not used to calming down. That calming down, that resting, is going to feel like exhaustion to you. Here's the good thing though, once you've gone through the day or the 2 days following your very first deep meditation, you will feel a sense of clarity in your mind. And that's going to help you in trading as well, okay? So we don't want to overburden the body with too much meditation. We want to get into it day by day. So you could start with 5 to 15 minutes and then over time you can increase the time of your daily sessions as well, okay? The second thing is we want grounded attention. So we want to focus on our breath, on our bodily sensations, our physical sensations, or we can focus on a specific sounds. We don't want to have mental imagery or visions in our mind. We just want to disconnect from any of that, okay? And we want to focus on one single thing. Either this could be any sounds in our surrounding, it could be our body, it could be our feet where we're sitting, or it could even be us focusing on our breath, okay? Then what we want to do, we want to keep our eyes open, but we want to soften our gaze, okay? We want to soften our gaze because most of the time, people who are in fight and flight mode, they're going to have a very rigid gaze, okay? A very strong gaze, which is agitated, which is aroused. Okay, we just want to soften it, and we want to keep our eyes open and slightly downwards. And this maintains alertness whilst cultivating calm, a crucial balance for active traders. Once we're done with our session, we want to stand up, stretch and move. And we don't want to go directly from meditation to charts. Okay, we want to allow the system to recalibrate. Good. Here's the thing, we don't want to become monks either. At some point where we actually see an A+ textbook setup, we still want to have the ability to execute the trade without any hesitation. Okay, so we need a healthy balance between being calm and then being decisive as well. We want to be able to stay patient while we're waiting without agitation. And then when the condition is there, we want to be able to be decisive enough to execute the trade as well, which is why we need a healthy balance. So what I'm recommending you guys to do is just have a healthy sleep routine, and then also a healthy caffeine consumption. Don't exaggerate your caffeine consumption. And for sure, do not consume any caffeine after 5 p.m. in the afternoon. Have 1 or 2 coffees in a day, and then have a meditation practice also at the end of the day or in the morning to basically balance your alertness. Good. This is real stuff, guys. I highly recommend you start a meditational practice every single day, 10, 15, 20 minutes. It's going to feel heavy in the beginning, but it's very crucial, especially if you're suffering from overtrading, if you're stalking the charts. If you don't find any clarity and calmness in your mind, that's probably not a good and healthy state that you're going to operate from, okay? So do take this seriously, take your time. And apart from meditation, I think that any healthy trader should also have just hobbies in life in general. If this is reading books, if this is meeting up with friends and family, if this is, I don't know, tanning, just journaling, writing ideas, anything that can distract you from the charts is a good thing, is a good habit, just in general for life, but also for trading. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope this was beneficial for you guys, and see you in the next module.